Oh, hi there. It's your boy Nathan. This is a quick disclaimer to say that if you're watching this video, it's probably gardening or DIY tips. I'm not trained in any way in DIY or gardening, I have no qualifications. Everything that I know has been learned through trial and error, mistakes, and breaking things, lots of things. So please take everything you see here as just my take on how to do things, not the recognized or industry standard way of doing things. So if you do attempt anything that I do here at home, you do it at your own risk. Thanks. Bye now. Sup tube, it's Nathan with my inaugural video on how to fit one of these. The Staywell Petsafe microchip cat flap. This will be a how-to video if it goes well. If it doesn't, it'll be how not to. It comes with this handy little template which tells me that I need a jigsaw, a drill, and a couple of other bits and bats. So let's pop out to the shed and see what we've got. Damn it. I don't find anything in here. What even is that? Jigsaw. Woo! What's in this thing? Oh, the battery better not be dead. Spirit level. Tape measure. Small selection of drill bits. Boom! So step one is to measure your cat from the belly to the floor, which is going to be fun because my cats hate me. There's one now. Come here. Okay. Oh, you're so good. Just teasing me. I'm going to get close and you're going to run away again. Of course you are. Please come here. Please. Come on. If you're wondering about the stupid noise, that will be the wife's doing. And here's Big Boy. He doesn't care. What we read. What is that? What's that? Like 21 centimeters? Right. I'm saying 17 centimeters. That's the big cat, so maybe 15 for the small one. So, because I don't take drilling or cutting a hole into my front door lightly, I've watched a few YouTube videos on this myself. But what I've found is they usually use this, the template, to draw where they're going to cut on here. Easy enough. But with this bad boy, we've got a little tiny, where is it? This thing. So this is a little cable that needs to pass through this little hole here. Right there, that little square one there. And because of that, you can't just simply draw a nice little line through there, which means you have to use the paper template. You have to. So this has to be stuck to the door and then cut round it, which I'm a little bit nervous about. Alright, if you're anything like me, you'll probably want to find the center of your door as well for this thing. So very, very easy. Just measure across the length of the panel and divide that by 2. Right, so 59.5-ish. What the? Wait a... No wonder I can't write on the thing. It's still got the protective plastic cover. Oh, it's like peeling sunburn. This is where it turns out to be some sort of like special UV protective coating or something stupid like that. I know my wife is going to hate this because she loves leaving the little plastic screens on everything new that she buys, and I love peeling them off. Get a knife and cut the rest of the raggedy bits off later. Alright, back to it. That's us into there, 29.75. Okay, so I'm a little concerned because 17 centimeters, if I take it from the bottom shelf that they'd have to step up from, is quite close to the base of the door. But I guess we'll just have to see how it goes. The whole point of this is that I mess up so you guys don't have to. Okay, there's the belly mark. Alright, measured, leveled and stuck in place. Now we're ready to do some actual cutting. Boom! Okay, now it's time to drill. Alright, holes are drilled. Now time for the jigsaw. Except I'm not, because my holes aren't big enough to fit the actual jigsaw piece into, so back to the shed. And now there's a hole in my door. Nice. Oh, this better work. Next step, instruction manual. Installation into a non-glass door. Okay, so now we need to fit this into this tiny hole here. This is what it looks like when it's actually inserted, by the way. First, you need to remove this whole front panel here, where these little screws are. Alright, you take that off and you'll be left with something that looks like this. So you're going to need one of these and one of these. Actually, two of these at each side. They're going to go through these two holes at the back here, like so. Those two holes there. I put them in backwards. They go that way. So those are the two bare ones. So those two in there. And there's the little snap holder holding the other side of them in place. So you push them through there. And then using amazing dexterity of your fingers, pop that cap onto there without those two falling out. So I still have to do this side. Okay, 1 and 2. And you should be left with something that looks like this. With the wire coming out the back there. Here. That's where the cable's going to go through. So I'm literally just feeding him into there. At the same time as bringing this whole thing up and slotting it onto here. So he's on there. And if we go around the other side of the door, got the case off and I'm holding the cable here. But as you can tell, this is all completely pointless until we complete one very vital step. We need to screw it to the door. So this step is incredibly simple. Get your pencil, poke it into the holes, and give it a little wiggle round. Do that at the other side as well. Then you'll have to take both sides off and shove your drill through. After which you're going to be left with something that looks like this. Okay, worth noting they give you 2 sets of screws. This is in case you have a tunnel extender so that you can reach the actual catches at the other side. Okay, so that's all screwed on. And around the back there's a circuit board and there's a long wire. Next on the list is the power supply. Now this comes in 2 forms. You've got a battery port there, this little thingy. And your battery fits in this nice neat little slot. I just kind of cover the light so we can show you that there. Or you've got a plug with a rather generous extension lead. Plug inserts into this little black box, if I can show you just here. So my finger is, don't know if you can because the light coming through the hole. There. And then your wire is going to run down here and out of one of these gaps at the bottom. Either this one here or this one here. Your choice. I always wondered what the middle of these look like. And now I know. Just to recap, we've attached the door, we've plugged in the port unit as it's called, we've also attached the plug, which I'm going to run along the bottom of the door to the plug over there. I've also put the little stoppers in the screw holes there. So what we should be left with over here is the door, the front panel, the little clip that covers the battery. 5 of these, one of them's a spare because I have a spare one of these as well. A spare one of these and a spare one of those clips. 4 screws to reattach the panel, as well as the 2 shorter screws if you were attaching this to, say, for example, a glass pane of glass or something like that. So that is the gist of what we've got left, and we'll pick it up from there. So the wire itself should run down these little channels here to keep it out of the way of any other mechanisms. This wire incidentally needs to be packed down the side here. It says to the left and in the cavity, not to be near the circuit board specifically. Very important that we reattach the door before we actually put the panel back on. I think that's the right way. Or is it that way? It should just fit on like that, and then I'll screw him in and we'll take it from there. Alright, that's all screwed on now. We just need to put the plugs in. Worth noting as well, as it's a plastic fitting, don't go crazy with the drill because you can break the housing. A little shape that marries up with that shape there, so that should just voila, biggity bam. The only thing left now after all of that is to program the cats in, and as I've mentioned before, they hate me. So I hope you found this video informative. Again, I'm not a trained professional, so take everything that I say with a pinch of salt and always double check your sources. I've seen a few videos for similar kind of designed cat flaps and it looks incredibly easy to them. For me, it took about an hour and a half. So between finding the tools, figuring out what the instructions were, compensating for any mistakes that I was making, average man, about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at a push if you're really not very DIY savvy. I'll probably do the registering the cats as a separate video because I feel like that's going to take a long time. Catch you all later. If you did find this video helpful, feel free to subscribe to the channel and remember to ding that donger to receive notifications of other videos I've posted. But in the meantime, thanks for watching the video and I'll see you next time. Bye!